teach you something in the conversation? You got it.
All right, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Actually, good morning, good afternoon, or good night whenever you're watching this Grown Talk with Arrows podcast episode. I am here with the one and only, the infamous, the dope MC of the Navajo Nation of New Mexico, Arizona, Defy.
Yo, peace. Thanks for having me, Arrows.
Yeah, no doubt.
I am honored to be on here. You had Ernie before this?
I had Ernie before.
Shout out to
this.
Ernie,
Yeah.
the comedian, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Shout out to Ernie, man. I really admire him throughout the years, you know, and
Yeah.
he's been on the tour that we were on.
Yeah, he was.
We'll maybe talk a little bit about that later on, but
Okay.
yes, thanks for tuning in. My name is Defy. Ja, Christopher Mike Bitta, Yinisha, Nakai Dine Inishla, Tachini Bashish Chin, Hoentlane, Dashache, Aro, Tobahe Dashanale. Honored to be here on the Grown Talk podcast once again, and just put out a new album out, and it's titled Into the Unowned. Dropped it just a few weeks ago. If anybody wants to check it out, it's available on all streaming platforms, or you could download it from me directly if you just go to IG and follow me on there, and tap the link in the bio. It's there as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Make sure you guys go over there and check out this new album that dropped on Spotify, iTunes, like all the platforms, right? Yeah. Go check it out and support your boy Defy. Hey, where'd you get that name from?
Defy actually has several different meanings, but like, for a long story short, you know what I mean? Like sonically, you think about things like you have hi-fi, lo-fi, and in between there's Defy. Defy is actually also like an organic kind of type sound that's like wavy and acoustic, but at the same time can still exist and manifest in a digital realm. Since like I feel like I come from the era and generation where it was right between the digital and analog switch over, you know what I mean? When things became really digital. I'm able to experience both. I've also been like very defiant by nature. Growing up as a adolescent youth, I also played a lot of baseball in Fort Defiance. So I was just spent a lot of time there and just like good memories, So Defy is also the word deaf when you break down the word itself. And the first time I seen the word deaf was like in a hip hop glossary book as like when I was like maybe second or first grade. And I was in the library, looked it up, and it was like a cool book about hip-hop, but it actually was made for children, and it was showing a little bit about the East Coast, like New York hip-hop movement that was happening, and then it had like photos and everything. And in the back, there's this word deaf there, and deaf is like synonymous with the word being dope. And so like I've always just wanted to strive to be dope, and some of my best favorite MCs that I've always looked up to, such as Tone Deaf and Most Def, like one of my favorite record labels is titled Def Jam. And so like I was just like, damn, I want to be like up there with those kind of guys, you know what I mean? And then the I is just like who I am. When you think about the word, it's like break it down to like an acronym. It's like definitely eternal, forever eternal. There's a lot of other different meanings to it, but that's a little bit about the word. I think it's been with me since probably like 7th grade or 8th grade.
Yeah, that's a dope name, dude. I always wanted to ask
man.
you where'd you got your name from?
I thought every artist thinks about switching it up a little bit, huh? Like just changing your name after a while.
You have any idea how many times I changed my name?
I know, right?
Damn.
Before that, I think I went with my initials backwards, and that wasn't working out. So I was like, I'm just gonna change that. So
I was Jermunson. I was never satisfied. I was Mohawk Magic, running with arrows. Now just arrows. Now back to Jermun. I don't know what the hell to call myself anymore. In Albuquerque, this is episode 4 of the Grown Talk podcast. We'll have a lot more special guests come through to the podcast, so be sure that you guys like the video, subscribe, and then also hit the notification bell. And then if you have a chance, you want to support Defy a little more, make sure you guys go to his YouTube channel. I'll put the link in the description on the bottom. Make sure you click it and subscribe to his channel too, and check out some of his music. His music's dope. Your latest project, your 10-song album.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, man. Thank you, by the way, too, for support. And thank you for everyone out there, too, for subscribing to your channel and also, hopefully, mine, too.
So that album that you have called Into the Unowned.
It sounds like Into the Unknown, but it's like Into the Unowned.
Okay.
That's what it's called.
And then I saw your cover art earlier. It's got 3 faces on there. Is that your faces?
Yes, that's three side portraits of myself. That was the album artwork, layout, and design was done by, or hand drawn actually by Chad Yellowjohn. He goes by Lil Coyote. So if
Mm.
anyone wants to check out his work, he's an amazing artist. And yeah, he referenced three side portraits of myself over the years. Once before as a teenager, secondly in my 20s, younger mid 20s, and then third portrait is more current of me now.
Okay.
So yeah, it features a little bit of like the growing process, showing I guess that because it's also featured like a cocoon, a caterpillar, and then a butterfly, or you know what I mean, the other order.
Every time I check out your like your IG and stuff, I see that you're traveling a lot. This is like before COVID, and I noticed that you've been to New York, California, and all these different type of places. And I kind of wanted to just ask you, man, because food is very important to me, man. I'm always eating, so I'm like, I wonder what this dude ate that was real bomb. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of wanted to see what was your favorite food that you had while you're out on the road.
Wow, that's a tough question. But like, there's so much great food everywhere you go, even on the res. Even like everywhere you go, you can find something. But right now, standing out, I got to think about this place that I once ate at. Like, had this amazing fish and chips, but I was way out in the cut in Alaska. It might have been either in Juneau or Sitka, but they had some amazing fish and chips that I'll never forget. I'll never forget. It was like probably just like fresh,
Yeah.
Like I'm not used to that. Being out here in the desert, Albuquerque, New Mexico,
No
we
fish
have
out
good
here.
fish and chips here too. But like if that's your thing, I mean. But I mean, I eat all kinds of food. But
Yeah.
I shout out to the vegans too. There's amazing vegan chicken and waffles that I had the other day up in Denver at City O City. I love food a lot, man.
Yeah,
I know
yeah,
it's
yeah,
hard
yeah.
to talk about what's my favorite.
Food is good. Food is very important because every time I'm going somewhere, man, I gotta make sure I have some good food. I gotta research the restaurants before I even get there. You know what I'm saying? And man, it's just very important. I'm pretty sure it's important for these guys that are watching too. So, I know you've been to a lot of places. The one that stood out to me the most was when you were on, I think it was Sway, when you did a performance, some certain bars. You spit some bars. Can you tell us about that experience?
Yeah, shout out to Sway in the morning. I've always looked up to Sway since he was doing this wake up show with King Tech a long time ago. I mean, Sway's seen like the legends come from like the very beginning. He's seen like Eminem, like and Biggie, like a lot of the best artists of our time as we were kids.
Yeah.
Like the rap idols of our time basically have been on the Wake Up Show live kicking verses, and some of my mentors and some of the people I look up to. So getting on his show has always been like a goal of mine. The experience was I mean, I'll remember the experiences because we did it a few different times. Wake Self and I would go to South by Southwest. I was subscribed to Shade 45 at the time, and I heard about the Cyphers. I also follow Sway, and they would host yearly showcases for MCs. So MCs got to be on the lookout sometimes when they see these opportunities come up. And Sway calls them hyenas, So like Wake and I were always just like really hungry to go off and just spit our verses, spit our bars, and also like hear other MCs as well. So we would go out there once a year, South by Southwest, usually after a show or on tour ourselves independently, and go with like no sleep. We just drive over there, get there about 3 or 4 a.m., which is about the time you got to show up to stand in line, because by like 6 a.m., there's like 300 people around the corner. And so like you're probably not going to get on that day. So you got to be really early. So we would do that, and it was amazing because like I mean, it's unrehearsed, it's raw, you don't know what beat you're going to hear. So even if you don't like the beat, you can't say no, because you're just going to get like, we don't have time. We got to push you to the next MC who's ready. And so in that sense, it's amazing too, because it puts everybody on the same platform. Like it's cool to see like artists like Cardi B or like Lil Uzi Vert and what's the other MC work? I mean, not to drop another names, but like all of them are also there performing before or after the showcases. So all the rappers and everybody on the same platform, no lights, just like how it's like this. Everybody's just, it's cool just to see them like that, without like the light shows and all the dancers. So just to hear them spit like that, and you're like, wow, like it's amazing to see like the human form of some of these major artists like that are out there, and you're just like, wow, maybe it's possible one day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because and getting on there and like just the moment you feel like you get off of it is amazing because it feels like you've achieved something. And Wake and I would always feel that way because we looked up to Sway since we were like barely beginning. So when we were like battle rappers basically. So yeah, shout out to Sway for allowing rappers and MCs and hyenas to get a chance to rap on these showcases. But I don't know if they do them anymore because of the pandemic, but he was going live. So if he does that, yeah.
How's the environment over there when you're waiting in line? Is everybody all supportive?
I think it's a good vibe because it's so early in the morning. Everybody's who's probably too turned up is probably not there because they're sleeping it off or something.
Yeah.
Or like, so everybody who's there is pretty focused for the most part, I think, and then pretty clear and supportive because like everybody wants to get on, but you have to be, I'd say, ahead of the line in order to be considered, or have some bars ready because they might do a quick like what is it called, like it's not like a contest, but what would you say, like a trial round.
Okay.
They might ask you like, hey, kick 4 bars from your Sway, or some Sway's people will ask not contestants but MCs or anybody who wants to get on.
And I know that Defy travels a lot across the U.S. and out of the country and stuff. And I always admire that you always come back to the res, because when I reached out to you when I was working with this program and I asked you to come out to different chapter houses across the Navajo Nation, I said, yo, let's go jump. If you can jump on this tour, that'd be dope. So you can spit some bars for these kids, give them some motivational talks and stuff. And yeah, you were down without no hesitation. Just as long as it was working out with your schedule, you came through. So that was pretty cool of you. And for those of you guys who don't know, we were working for this program, and we went to these different chapter houses, and we just talking to the kids and letting them know like what life's about and different opportunities that they can achieve and different dreams that they can go for and stuff. And we were just out there, man. We were just traveling and touring and stuff like that. Have you done something like that recently, or was that on the Navajo Nation?
I've been doing that recently, but it's not been like as consistently like, how would I say? I mean, I've been consistent.
Yeah.
But we were doing you did like 40 consecutive dates,
yeah.
Something 30 to 40 consecutive dates back to back to do all the chapter houses.
Yeah.
I think I do about within a week during this past semester. I was doing about 2 or 3 once a week, or like 2 or 3 times a week.
Yeah.
And for a few different not really chapters, but different school districts, and just providing creative writing workshops virtually, like to students from kindergarten all the way to 12th grade. And it was pretty cool. It was sort of like along the lines of what we did, but there's nothing like being there in person. I missed like being able to like actually interact with the artists. I mean, not artists, but the artists too that you brought. But the people in the communities. But still, it was very successful. I've still been trying to pursue that, using the actual same setup too, to utilize like the best way, like to basically just like, I don't want to say this word, but to make the best out of the situation. You know what I mean? With the virtual performances, now that we're live now, I've still been doing that, and I'm touring regularly, like throughout the country. I just got done doing the dates up north and west. I'm about to do some dates out in the East Coast, but not as like consistently though. I'm like trying to just space it out a little bit because I want to take a little time here and there just to try to relax a bit.
So I know you're always like busy. You're always on the road. You're always doing other stuff. I kind of wanted to know how your creative process works. Like when you're gonna work on a new project, or if you're gonna do some artwork or something. Like what really motivates you to sit down or to do it on your phone? I don't know if you're a phone person or a pen to paper person.
Yeah, I used to write all my verses on pen and paper. I highly encourage that because there's nothing like writing the words out, seeing the letters form. But my handwriting it's not that good. I'm actually left-handed, so after a while, like a lot of ink soaks into your palms. You know what I mean? So like I had to kind of adapt, and so I just don't want my wrist to start getting too tightened up. So I started to just type my verses out. And that's helped me in some ways because at least it allows me to have it stored online through a drive.
Oh yeah.
And I've lost like how it is to lose a journal, or some people out there probably have. But anyway, Yeah, my creative process usually begins with the instrumentals. I start with well, it begins with friendships and relationships I built first because honestly, I couldn't work with some of these producers without, um, I'd say, becoming friends and just like building relationship over time as friends.
Mm-hmm.
And like such as Smoke M2D6 and Ariano, those two homies. Smoke M2D6 is from the Old Dominion crew. Ariano is a SoCal vet, and I really admire them and looked up to them, seen them tour, seen their crews tour over the years, and met them on the run. And actually brought them out too because Wake Self and I used to co-host. Um, we didn't found it, but like we were co-hosting Vinyl and Verses, which was Albuquerque's longest running hip hop weekly, it was a great era.
Mm.
And so, you know, Smoke and Ariano and so many other artists came out, headliners and so forth. But not to talk about the past, but I do get caught up in nostalgia when I'm thinking about my work now, creative writing. Like I look back on all the experiences that I have with my best friend Wake, with my crew, and like, you know, all crews really, because like we were always just like trying to just um, be at the next event and support, you know, whether it would be like rap battles or B-boy, B-girl, all styles events, you know, like like events for writers or even events for DJs. We would try to go out to any event related, even just open mic sometimes. You know how it is, like just starting out as an underground artist. Yeah, the creative process I think is not also just like looking back, but I like imagine a lot. Like a lot of my album now is kind of based like also on sci-fi. I wouldn't say it's fictional because I also want to base these raps and actually have raps that can how would I say, like not only just be good just for rap's sake, you know what I mean? I'm trying to like make some meaningful sense into the raps to create some kind of truth in some of these songs. But there's a lot of like just songs about just being creatively in the zone. I like to freestyle a lot.
Right.
A lot of my creative process is just freestyling too. So I'll just think of a line and just write it down, go from there. But I've noticed when I write on paper versus like typing it out, like I'm less organized on paper. So like you'll look at my paper and my sheet after I'm done with the verse, like my first line might be down here in the bottom right corner. My like second and third line is up here where it should be at the beginning, you know, fourth line just, and I shift the lines out because I realize that like certain lines can be more powerful as a punch, or this line could be like a setup for this punch. So I'll interchange the lines a lot when it comes to the writing. But my poetry instructor, I think her name was Christina Robinson, she once said to me, she was like, she read after reading a lot of my writings as like a younger poet or younger artist MC, she said like these are dope, but she said don't let your rhyme carry the message, let your message carry the rhyme. And after that I was like, damn, that made sense to me, and that always stuck, you know. So I tried to like thrive to create like rhymes that could also be accessible for anybody, that's even just the non-rap listeners out there. So sometimes I strive for that, to like just create rhymes that are able to be at least heard for like even just non-rap listeners. I mean, sorry to just repeat that, but that's basically part of the creative process for me too. Besides that, my peers and just the legends, those that came before that laid the foundation. So I think that I'm really inspired by so many of them. It's hard to just name everyone, but they're definitely a part of the creative process too, because I think as younger artists, we definitely have a style or many different styles that we like to emulate or imitate because we're finding our own voice as part of the creative process. As time goes, I feel like then you evolve, finding your own voice, finding your own patterns, finding your own cadences, your own tones, and just different ways that people will know, like if they hear you, that's definitely you, you know. I think that's the part of my creative process now, has just been trying to fine tune that and just work on reaching success, but not just monetarily. I'm trying to like just stay creative too. I don't know. I love hip hop and I love writing and lyricism so much that it's like, I feel like that's definitely a huge part of the creative process for me too, is just the love that comes from it. Because I think I just fell in love with word power as a youth. My mom taught me to read and write. She's definitely been there since day one. So that's a little bit about it, I guess.
Okay.
Sorry to go in, but
Yeah,
it's a long. It's hard. That's a good question.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, it's
But
all
people
good, man.
ask, like, I just don't want to say, like how I sometimes do.
beat,
It's
yeah.
the beat, or
Yeah.
like, yeah, listen to a beat and play it while I'm driving. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? That's part of it too. But
Yeah. My mom really. I told my mom I'm gonna get Defy over here on the Grown Talk podcast, and she said, "Oh yeah, I like Defy. Tell him I said hello." Cause that tour we did, she was there, and I don't know, she took a liking to you. She likes your rap and stuff. So my mom says
What was
hi.
your mom's name?
Shirley.
Shirley, yeah. Shout out to Shirley. Much
Yeah.
love, Shirley.
Yeah, she think that being Native American makes it a little harder for the top peoples to just check out your skills and all.
I think it's hard to just say to overgeneralize and to just saying that like every Native American is having has difficulties or more difficulties than another ethnicity, because I think everyone's different and everyone's path different, and every Native American is also different too. Our tribes are so different, like our whether you're federally recognized or not, I don't know, the variables are so much, there's so many different variables now that I think it's different for everybody, because you could also be, indigenous and be born, and you might be, say, from a place called, I don't know, South Dakota, and, versus like you might be growing up somewhere in New York, actually, or maybe in LA or something like that. Who knows, like the variables involved and all of that. But I could say for myself, there's been some challenges and some obstacles, adversities, but we've always just been resilient as like a people. So I feel like we just find a way, and that's part of like my whole career is just like so many adversities come through, but like we're just maneuvering around and still finding a way to overcome these obstacles and try to achieve success. And yeah, for the most part, it's been very successful. But I definitely see a lot of indigenous artists like getting a lot of dope placements now, and like seeing a lot of indigenous artists from not only from this part of Turtle Island, but they're like from different parts of the world that are also getting some amazing spotlights. And it's amazing to just see that. I think it's dope because there's platforms that are being major platforms now. Like I was only just on one for a few minutes, but like on so many other different networks, there's indigenous representation happening, and I think that's really dope to see, because yes, there's not that many of us as there was before, but I think it's like right now there might be the best opportunities for us to just deliver our messages and create our own stories, narratives, et cetera, sort of.
Your favorite song to perform?
I like to perform this song called Help Me Breathe. It's titled Help Me Breathe from 2019. I put out an album titled Dream Trails. And that song, I feel like is a healing song for just like also for myself. I like spitting it, and it's just like 3 verses. It's real mellow. I like the just, the beat is by Ariano. He did the beat, so I like the beat a lot too.
Do you have any favorite place to perform?
That's a good question. Man, there's so many favorite places, but
Winter Rock Fair.
Off the mind, yeah. You know what? that could be one. You know what I mean? What's the name of the sports rec center that's in the fairgrounds? What's that called?
I think that's just the sports center.
Okay, the sports center there at Window Rock is legendary. People don't know how legendary that place is, because like once upon a time, like even I think DJ Abel Rock, he brought out DJ Z-Trip and some of like the world's best B-boys and B-girls dancers at the time. Some of them, I mean, you can't bring out everybody way out to Window Rock, but he brought them out at one point in time, and I think that inspired all of us. But that was probably getting to battle. I actually battled out there. This guy named 40 Cal, much love, 40 Cal from St. Louis.
I think I've seen that on YouTube.
A long time ago. There was like just that era of those events going on, and I think that rec center is legendary for that. There was also like dances that happened that night. I wouldn't stay that long, but the competitions were so super cool to like be a part of. You know what I mean? Like I don't know how to describe it, but being a kid and being on the res, you wouldn't expect that. and that's where I met like some of my best friends too, just like in seeing them battle. I don't know, so that could be one of the spots actually. Window Rock Fair, like right there. But I would say New York is like probably always just like been a dream come true. But I once got a chance to perform at in Abuja, Nigeria, being a part of this cultural ambassadorship program. And I think that being able to perform out there, it took so much even just for me to get a passport. But you know what I mean, just to get the opportunity too. But like, just to get the passport was a huge mission and accomplish that. And so getting a chance to go out there, and a part of the program, I wasn't able to select the country or nation that I would be traveling to. So it was just by chance, I guess, that I was able to go to Nigeria, and going to the motherland basically was always a dream come true. So shout out to Niger.
Oh, wow.
And that's probably been one of my favorite memories and places to perform at, and just to meet and hear the other artists too, like M.I. Abaga, Osha Ray, Nomis G, Alhan Islam, Dorino, and there's so many others, but like right now off the mind I can't remember, but those are just some of the artists that I like met out there, and they're amazing. And there's like the scene, the music, the movement, and just like the sound too is very, very like danceable too. Like it's like, I don't know, I gotta start making tracks that people feels like just hearing the music that's coming out right now from out there, and even back then, like maybe want to like create and work with producers who can make songs that people would want to dance to, not just like listen to in a car, which I think a lot of my music is cool to listen to a car to, or while listening into a car, you know what I mean? Or just like a pair of headphones, you might want to hear the lyrics a little bit more, because I'm very like, some people say I'm lyrical, or some people say I rap fast, but I want to be more clear, add more clarity to the words and like my deliveries. But I also want to like focus on the beat production and selecting beats that people would like want to just vibe to a little bit more and just move to, I guess.
So how long were you out there in Nigeria for?
I think it was like about 3 weeks, or like 2 days shy of 3 weeks. And it was a part of this ambassadorship program titled Next Level USA. And it's an amazing program. Anybody can apply if you have like a resume, if you're a hip hop practitioner in any of the elements, and if you're also have a resume and worked with with community, and just just have a good resume, I guess. And people who are very like not as known internationally, or like I'd say up and coming like myself, or rising artists, I would say, have been a part of the program. But there's also been like many legends and hip hop pioneers that also are a part of the program too in some way or another. So it's an amazing program, and it's been going on I think since 2015 or something. No, wait, 2014 I think, because
2014.
I was the I was the 5th cycle, and I was on it for 2018. So this is a couple of years back. But once you're a part of the program, you might have a few opportunities. If you complete the program, you might have opportunity to possibly go back and travel within 4 years or less. But normally, like myself, you have to wait 4 years to reapply. Because there's so many amazing other hip hop practitioners worldwide, and especially within our this part of Turtle Island.
Right.
I would say, yeah.
That's dope. I'm glad you went out there.
Thanks, man.
It was represent Navajo Nation out there.
I definitely did. Yeah, I definitely did. I mean, I was like, people were like looking at me like, who's this guy? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if they could really tell I was from this part of Turtle Island or the Res, but I think they were, after talking with people, and just, it was cool to just cipher even just with other artists. I don't know, and hear them talk in their, in either like, I don't know, I heard of some languages from, like Nomis G, he's a Hausa artist. I think one of the languages is called Hausa. There's Ibu, Yoruba, and I don't know what other languages I might have heard, but like, to hear some of those languages sound similar to like even local tribes around here blew my mind.
Oh, snap.
And I was like, wow, this is amazing. And just being a part, actually going out into the markets and reminding me of like the flea markets back in Shiprock, sort of. I mean, it was different, but like you can see similarities, and that really made me feel like I almost didn't want to leave. I almost wanted to stay here if I could.
Damn.
You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
like I wouldn't have I wouldn't have the protection from the U.S. government, which was actually protecting us in a lot of ways while we were working. And at the time we were there, it was there was a lot of activities happening within the city that actually did require our like protection. So to and from like the world centers that we were at, and to the ambassadorship center where we were hosting our workshops, we were always rolling in like bulletproof vans with like a fully armed like agent who's like helping out with the embassy, because we were like, it's a really good program. I felt safe, you know what I mean? In other words, like, because I'm not one to like follow the media, but people were sending messages to my mom like, hey, like, why is your son's like, is he okay? You know what I mean? There's a lot going on out there, and like I guess it was making news, and my mom was like just making sure I was good. But the program like really took care of us, and like it was an amazing experience nonetheless.
That's dope, dude. Yeah. I'm glad you went out there. It's a lifetime experience, man. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, thanks, man.
So those of you guys who are watching still on the Grown Talk podcast, I'm here with Defy. If you guys want to check out his music, it's streaming on all platforms. Make sure you go over there, you download it. And you have merch online, do you?
Yes, I have merch at def-i.com, but most of my merchandise you can purchase from my Bandcamp page, def-i.bandcamp.com. Yeah,
okay.
def-i.bandcamp.com. And you there's a merch there.
Okay, and then all those links will be in the description below, so just go down there, make sure you click the link and then go to his YouTube channel and give him a subscribe to his channel, give him a like, and then hit that notification bell and let him know you're coming from Arrow's channel. We'll appreciate that very much. And what is your next moves as far as music right now? What project are you working on right now?
Right now, I'm working on another project produced by Smoke M2D6. But before I release that project, I have an album coming out soon with Ariano. It's titled In the Meantime, and it's basically. It was like, it showcases like a reflection of the past year and a half, like the emotions and different experiences that both of us went through. And Ariano is a dope producer too, so he did all the beats. He engineered the project, and together we interweaved a lot. So when you hear the album, it's going to sound like we were just recording it, just like right now, me and you next to each other. But we've successfully and like surprisingly managed to put out 3 projects, or 2 projects now, but this will be our 3rd project fully together since the pandemic started.
Like I said, man, once again, thank you guys for watching the Grown Talk podcast. I'm here with Defy, and we're just chilling. We're just kicking it right now, and Jay Styles back here just kicking it too. He's working on his videos, so we got a lot more videos coming out soon. I wanted to know who you'd like to collaborate with. I know you have I don't know if you do have a lot of collaborations. Oh, well, obviously you do from the latest songs that I've heard. But like, as far as like a mainstream artist, who would you like to collaborate with? Like who is it? Kanye? Because shit, if I had the opportunity to collab with Kanye, I don't know what the hell I would say. Whoopity doop or something like that. Probably be good enough for that. But I'll be down to, like, Kanye's my boy, man. I love Kanye.
You never know, because like Kanye's been reaching out to, I've heard, to a few other people supposedly that are like not too far away from the res, or maybe from one of the reses up north. I don't know.
Oh, snap.
But I don't know what that's just what I heard, so you never know. Like you might be able to like I wouldn't say our res, but like that's just what I heard. But like personally, I don't know. I've always been a spitter, and I've always just like would like to have possibly rap with another like mainstream spitter. And right now, probably one of the mainstream spitters as far as like writers goes, as far as like decades too, maybe I'd say maybe Eminem would probably be, that would be like most reaching very high, but something that's possible, maybe like, I don't know, Locksmith or Joyner Lucas.
Okay.
And like I just don't know if I don't personally have like the you never know,
Yeah,
but
you never know.
there's so many other dope artists out there too that I think I would love to collaborate with. Some that I actually have had a chance to, but I'm always just down to collab. Most of the albums, like you're right, most of my last 3 or 4 albums have many collaborations, mostly from, indigenous artists, but also, how would we say, our relatives or something, Or, I don't know. I feel like
Relatives,
yeah, that's cool.
I was listening to one of your tracks the other day, and I was kind of wondering if you ever have you ever did a collaboration with Natani?
We've talked about it before.
Uh-huh.
We've rapped on stage before, like
Right,
just
right,
live. But as far as making a song, actually, you know what? We did make a song. I think, because I did the verse, and my homie Bishop, peace to my homie, he said that Natani was gonna get on this song. So I was like immediately down, and I think
Okay.
so. I was
That'd
like,
be dope.
because I was just like, that's the brother. So I was like, I'm down right away. So I did my verse, but then, recently he asked, maybe he's working on a new album, so I would be more than willing to do a collab with, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
In the future, I'm possibly hoping, cross my fingers, to have Natani jump on the Grown Talk podcast. So if you guys are watching this, make sure you guys prepare for that. It should be pretty dope to have them on there. And I'm gonna have a lot of other artists come through, some actors, some poets, just a wide range of people come through, different backgrounds and different talents and stuff come through. So
yeah, thanks for your support definitely during this journey, especially the past few years. It took a while to put music out consistently, but now I feel like I have a workings. I have it set to where I can put out music pretty frequently and enough music per each year for the audience and those who support. So thank you so much for supporting. I'll have new projects coming soon, merchandise available, but just not do anything crazy. Don't drink and drive,
Right.
and just try to love one another and just be respectful, and just, I don't know, like I'm feeling like optimistic about this now that things are starting to move more as far as more tour dates, but I know we're still in the midst of this pandemic, so I'm trying to just move safely as possible.
one time when you hosted that gathering of MCs downtown, I know I jumped on stage and I was supposed to rap battle Antro. Why the hell did I match up with Antro? I was on stage with the mic and I'm like, I can't have nothing bad to say about Antro, man. Like,
Oh, man,
you have
that was
long,
pretty
beautiful
rough.
hair. Just I don't know what the hell to say to him, dude. So then I was like, man, I couldn't do this. So then I was like, all right, I'm done. I just gave the mic away and I just got off stage and I didn't know what to say. And I felt
I
like,
remember that year.
Yeah.
Gathering of MCs?
Yeah,
Was
yeah,
that
yeah.
Gathering of MCs 5 or 6 or something like that?
I'm not too sure when it was, but it was a gathering at MC, the one you were hosting.
Damn, and that's a while back. But yeah, shout out to everybody who's been a part of Gathering of MCs.
Yep.
That's always been cool. I remember that moment
You
when
do?
you did. Yeah, I
Yeah.
do remember when you handed the mic over, and I think myself or someone else, maybe the host, got the mic, and you did exit the stage. But I respect that too. But I felt like there was other ways that this other guy as MC, he wasn't really saying much like anything negative like towards anybody, but he was being like more like the comedian rapper. Do you remember him?
Nah, I don't remember.
I dug his angle because he wasn't like just saying nothing offensive. It was just like funny,
Yeah.
And then do you remember when Superman dressed up as someone
Oh,
else?
he's wearing the mask?
Yeah, I thought that was funny too because he had the accent. He added a lot to that, his whole different character, and I was like, damn, that's amazing. Different, like, I don't know. There's always like I always admire the different creative like ways that artists or MCs could just like compete in the battle realm. I always want to think that the Gathering of MCs is also just more of a showcase, but not just like a battle, but more like a competition, because there's also availability for artists to kick verses in the Best 16 showcase.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
So we want to try to add more, when this happens again, we want to try to add more categories for different artists too, because definitely realize that not everybody wants to say anything that's bad towards someone else.
Since that happened to me on stage and I don't know what year it was, but there was a female rapper and a male rapper who were kind of like heading to the top. and then they had to battle each other. And then the guy was saying a lot of different things to the woman. I don't know if you remember that battle. And then people in the crowd got super offended.
Was this the final round?
Yeah.
Final round? Oh,
one of the final rounds, and they was like,
think.
yeah, it was one of the final rounds, and there's a lot of ladies in the crowd, and they got really offended about what he was saying to this woman. And I was like, oh snap, man! Like, is this really the place to be like getting all super offensive during a battle? You know what I'm saying? And then I don't know, that dude was killing it, and I thought that he should have taken it, but then it went the other way around, where the girl took it.
I don't know, actually. I don't remember. I don't know,
but this
was a while back, though.
Yeah,
this was like we're talking like maybe 8-9 years ago.
Yeah, this was a long time ago. Way before that tour. Way before everything.
Yeah, this is a while back. I can't remember exactly, but
as far as rap battle, do you think that people should get so offended? There's a lot of people up in there getting real offended, man.
That's a good question. It depends for everybody too. I guess like everyone has a sort of a different perspective when it comes to battle rap, but in the arena itself, and if you're like at a battle rap and you're there for a battle rap league, you know, I think you should be able to realize that what you're going to hear is probably going to be offensive in some way or another to someone else. Maybe not yourself, but someone in the room. And knowing that, you know, there's a lot of entertainment, there's a punchlines, and there's so much like being said that like gets the crowd hyped, you know. There's like a lot of bars that can be funny too, that I was kind of pointing out to earlier, like onto the angle of that other artist who was battling, but like just being non-offensive, but just being more funny, I guess. For myself personally, I think after a while I did feel like there was a lot of offensive bars being said, so I kind of stepped away from battle rap too, because of I think it was a few battles that like were the first like battles that I've been a part of where they were like really racial in a way, you know. And I might be out there with maybe 2 other brothers, but there's like, I don't know, 30 or 40 other brothers that we don't know about, and most of them may not identify with us the same, you know.
Right.
Or you know, just moments like that, and you just like got to be like on your toes, but it just didn't feel like a sport or fun anymore, you know, because you feel like you don't know what can happen. You still do the battle, and it's like, you know, for me, I'm just speaking me from personally, you know, and after a while I think I just stepped away from a couple of battles like that, because I realized that as an artist, you can, as a writer or even just an MC, you can offer a lot more than just battle raps too, you know. So I think that's probably when I just got focused more on the music, I guess. I think it was a mentor sat me down and was like, he asked me about what I've been up to since we toured, and he was like, yeah, I think he was like a little disappointed in a way, because I told him I've just been doing a lot of battle raps, you know, or doing a lot of battles, like traveling to do battles. And he messaged, or he just, you know, we were sitting there and he told me like, you know, is this what you want to be remembered by your people for as a rapper? And I was like, damn, that kind of stuck with me for the time being too. And I was like, damn, I really look up to him, and I still do to this day. So I think from that point on, I was like, well, how can I apply myself and try to be more than just a battle rapper, because I felt like I had a calling to rap in the first place, and felt like I had like a talent that like grew, or I was like cultivating at the time, especially in those early years. I think that point I got to give thanks to like my auntie and like just my family, who are also like helping me reground and focus on like what mattered more, at least more, and like especially music wise. I think it was the mentors that helped provide me with that insight and like guidance a little bit, to just help me like see that there's more out there for an artist or for anybody than. But I love battle rap too, as far as the entertainment value's sake. Some of like the best verses you can hear are like on some of these clips out, you know, that is like, it's crazy. So shout out to the rap battle leagues out there, you know, like, and shout out to the MCs who participate in the rap battle leagues, because it takes a lot to be able to be on the stage too. And I feel like after a certain while, a lot of artists tend to just not only just, I'm speaking outside of being like offended by some of the content and subject matter of battles, but sometimes a lot of artists like just get so much into the music, or maybe just realize that they might not do well at a battle, because they might just get torn up by one of these battle rappers, you know? So there's a lot to lose for a lot of artists that have already developed themselves musically too. But I feel like it's good to be a part of the sport too, and like immerse yourself in the culture, because it's, you know, being competitive in a way does help you become better in a way, you know?
Yeah,
So,
true that.
I don't know, but yeah, you can be offended for sure. Like, and if you're, I mean, you can be offended in some way or another, because a lot of the different angles that come through from the battles, you know, could be racial, they could be homophobic, they could be transphobic, that could be, I don't know, there's a lot of different triggers that could be like sparked or like pulled through battle rap. So I mean, if you take it with a grain of salt though, and like realize that it's just like a sport from their perspective, as they say, then maybe you cannot be as offended. But you don't really know what's like behind the minds and behind the intentions of some of these artists too. So like that's another thing too. There's a lot of energy that's exchanged between battles and stuff too, and some of it is like, you know, it's very intense every time, but some of it, I don't know if it's like the best like route if for everybody. I don't know.
Any advice you get from your family or from someone that you hold dearly that you keep with you at all times?
Yeah, I think like when I definitely try to just keep it simple sometimes, you know, like, because it gets very complicated in life these days. So like I just think about probably just what my grandfather would always say, or any of my peoples would always say, like my mom or my grandma, and every time like they always just say like goodbye to me and I love you, they would always say something just like, and whether it be in like Denebizad or English, and they say like, just take care of yourself, you know, something as simple as that. And I think
I'm here with special guest Defy. I got a beat that I'm gonna pull up right now by Chaos, and we're gonna have Defy spit some bars to this track right here. So if you're at home, make sure you turn up the beat, turn up your headphones, enjoy the track.
yeah, shout out to Chaos on the beat. Grown Talk with Arrows. What's up, y'all? My name is Defy. Here we go. Check it out. Look, yeah. Wipe my tears, clear my eyes, put my fears aside. Shifting gears before I steer the ride. Here's my time. Smear my pride. I'm no hero, but here am I. For all the bad choices and mistakes, I got a year's supply. Fresh out of luck. Thought you had enough with your numbers down while your stress is adding up. See, back when I didn't have a buck, I packed my trunk. Spent the last bit of cash I had on the gas to pump. Left town, head down, westbound. I just lounge waiting for the sun to set now. Put myself in the situation I face, induces. Try to fit in my shoes but couldn't loosen the laces. Music roots booming through the buttes, ruins and mesas. Piano tuned to the moon reminded you of views of beautiful places. My mind takes us to a highway oasis. Bright rays shine from the waves as the night chases. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Thanks a lot, bro.
16 right there. Thank you
Everybody
guys
out there
tuning in.
who's like still bumping, man, thank you guys so much for tuning into the Grown Talk podcast, and make sure you go to Defy social media. It's gonna be down in the description below. Check out his YouTube, check out his music, man. Go buy some merch from him. And we're about to end this podcast right now. Any last words?
Thank you for having me on today's podcast, man. I really appreciate the opportunity and being on your platform, especially going live before. That was dope. Can't wait to see that too. And if you can, check out my latest album, subscribe to my channel. I got a lot of new music videos and a lot of content coming out very soon. Thanks again.
All right, thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll see you guys on the another episode of Grown Talk. Peace.
Can we help you learn something? Can we teach you something in the conversation?